I wasn't born a shinobi. I was shaped into one, by blades, by blood, by the silence of a lost name. They called me Wolf, but I had no pack, no master, only duty, only pain, only death. This is the path I carved through a land that refused to die. Ashina clung to the last breath of an era, a ghost propped up by steel and stubborn will. It was a land of warriors, but even warriors feared the dark. I wasn't sent to save Ashina. I was sent to sever it from its gods, from its blood, from itself. And as I stalked through its ruins, I saw what war really is, a battlefield of memory, and no one remembers who drew first blood. A shinobi's sword is not honor, it's survival. It doesn't sing, it whispers, it waits. My blade was not for show. It wasn't poetry like a samurai's. It was instinct, timing, breath. Steel met steel, not to dance, but to defy. Every deflection was a heartbeat, every kill a breath held too long. I learned not just to fight, but to feel the fight, to live on the edge of the edge. They said resurrection was a curse, but to me, it was a question. How badly do you want to protect him? Every death burned the weakness out of me. Every failure sharpened my silence. I learned to die well, not with regret, but with rhythm. There is no game over in Ashina. Only resolve, only return. This wasn't a world you could conquer by grinding. It wasn't a world that offered mercy. It offered mastery. You didn't win because your numbers got higher. You won because you adapted, learned their patterns, memorized their breath. You didn't level up, you grew up. And when the world asked you to jump, parry, vanish, or die, it was teaching you something more dangerous than power. Patience. Even the prosthetic arm, a tool of loss, became a weapon of creativity. From firecrackers to spear pulls, it made me feel like a ghost made of knives. He called me his protector, and I believed him. But even love can bind. Even kindness can chain you to old commands. I didn't serve a master. I served a memory, a promise. But promises made in blood don't always know when to stop bleeding. Even mercy was an order. Even choice wasn't truly mine. Genichiro, the heir to pain. Owl, my father in name, but only in betrayal. Emma, whose kindness carried a blade. Ishin, who fought not for peace, but for pride. Each of them stood for something I feared. Obedience, corruption, attachment, immortality. They weren't villains. They were possibilities. Paths I could take if I kept kneeling to the past. To end the curse of resurrection, I had to end myself. Not just my body, my bond my belief, my place in this story. The divine wanted chains, the world wanted cycles, but I chose the blade, and that meant cutting clean through destiny. To save the boy, I had to become something worse than dead. Free. I will never be remembered. There are no statues for shadows, no songs for wolves, but I remember the deaths, the choices, the silence between strikes. I wasn't born to be a legend. I was born to protect. And in the end, I protected his future, not mine. No master, no leash, no name. Just peace. I died 1,000 deaths, and it made me whole.